On this week's Making the Movie, it's welcome back to the world of teen wizard Harry Potter. So, grab your Quidditch sticks and hang on tight as we exclusively meet Hogwarts star pupils and all those responsible for putting in hours of Muggle might as we go behind the scenes of the 5th installment in the franchise that tackles the teenage traumas of assassination attempts, first kisses and fascist teachers. In a summer that so far had web-slingers, pirates and star-studded poker players, it's the return of the world's most famous boy wizard that has film fans excited the most.
Stay in formation, everyone. Don't break ranks if one of us is killed.
With J.K. Rowling's 7th and final Potter novel due, and rumours of a Harry Potter theme park in the offing, it's movie number 5 that comes first, in a series that so far has raked in a staggering $3.5 billion at the worldwide box office. Coming up over the next 30 minutes, Daniel Radcliffe on Harry's first screen kiss.
It's a bit clumsy and sweet, and as all first kisses should be, it's completely mal-coordinated.
Rupert Grint reveals how events take a dark and sinister turn at Hogwarts.
It doesn't really have many of the lighter moments that some of the others did. It's just pretty sort of full-on, intense scariness.
And Emma Watson on the relationship between the cast that has developed since that first movie many moons ago.
Get behind me!
We have a pretty strong bond. I'll never lose touch with them. They're sort of friends for life now.
They can't save the rails.
But first, with everyone just that little bit older, wiser, and back for another year at Hogwarts,
3, 2, 1, action!
are the cast as excited as the fans to be tackling the forces of evil once again?
It's a really sort of friendly atmosphere up there, really, because it's always been the same cast and the same crew. It is sort of like going back to school, really. It's just really, really good fun.
There's such a sense of family on the set, and you know everybody so well that you come back on and you're sort of immediately, having a laugh with everybody again. So it's sort of like a home away from home now. But it's a terrible. I mean, I managed to work about 4 cliches into that last answer, but that is sort of the way it is, genuinely.
This one just looks so much more grown up now, and all the characters I think have grown up since the last one, definitely, because you can definitely see their friendships a lot stronger.
This is really advanced stuff, guys. You're doing so well.
Azkaban used to be my favourite, but this one now I think definitely is. It's just like, it's darker, it's scarier, it's better. It's just really good.
It's quite a scary time at Hogwarts because Voldemort comes back and no one really trusts Harry, and it's all a bit edgy.
In the tradition of the previous Potter films, a new director was brought on board to adapt the near 900-page novel into a 2-hour story.
What a load of waffle.
There's important stuff hidden in that waffle.
Following in the footsteps of the likes of Chris Columbus, Alfonso Cuarón and Mike Newell, the new man in charge this time around was David Yates.
The world of Harry Potter is quite rich and complex and bonkers in a way. And there's so much in there for a director to kind of get stuck into.
They all have different ways of doing it, different methods. There's a different atmosphere on set. They have different takes and everything. Like with Alfonso, he asked us to write an essay. With Mike, he got to do like loads of rehearsals, and David does it by talking, and they all have different ways of looking at it.
We really got on well with him because he was a lot more calmer than the other directors we've had before. Like Mike Newell did the last one. He was pretty crazy. He used to sort of swear at you if you got your line wrong when you started laughing. David Yates is much more easygoing, which is really good.
Look at me!
All my stuff has been drama heavy, and then suddenly to be given the keys to the toy shop and said, I know the last film you made had like 1 visual effect in, and this movie's got 1,400 visual effects. Welcome aboard. It's too much of an opportunity to pass up.
And of course, anyone joining such a tightly knit cast and crew is going to start off feeling like the new boy at school, even if he is the director.
It must have been quite intimidating for David to come in, like, when we all do have such quite a close bond and we're all this kind of big Harry Potter family and everyone's kind of come back for another year and he's the new guy and he's meant to be in charge. So He did a really, really good job.
There's a storm coming, Harry. Just like last time.
He learned everyone's names, and there's a hell of a lot of names to learn, I can tell you that. And he had time for everyone, really friendly, really genuine, very perceptive, just a really nice guy. He just fitted in really well.
They know these characters inside out. What you have to do as a director is you make the most of what they already know about these characters.
The other thing that I love about him is he loves it. He loves Harry Potter. He's like he was genuinely seemed excited to be doing what he's doing. It kind of gives you a new boost of enthusiasm for it, because it's like, okay, here we go again, 5th time round.
The film sees our heroes hitting their teenage years.
We're in this together.
With tempers and hormones raging.
You know that period in your life when you're between 14 and 17 and you're struggling with yourself a wee bit, you know, you're struggling with authority, you've got all these hormones flying all over the place. Well, in the 5th book, Jo deals with that stage of life.
Every teenager comes to a stage where they're actually like, no, I don't agree with that. I'm not going to listen to what you're telling me to do.
We've got to be able to defend ourselves. And if Umbridge refuses to teach us how, we need someone who will.
You kind of break free and you kind of become your own person.
Harry has no choice but to rebel this time, as he finds that not only does no one believe that the Dark Lord Voldemort has returned, but even his beloved Hogwarts school is no longer a safe haven.
The Ministry of Magic is getting involved in Hogwarts in this one because Cornelius Fudge, the man with probably the best name in the whole of the series, is getting increasingly paranoid that Dumbledore, in a bid for power, has told everybody that Voldemort's coming back to scare them into getting Fudge out of the office and putting Dumbledore into it.
Cornelius, I implore you to see reason. The evidence that the Dark Lord has returned is incontrovertible.
Everyone thinks he's lying about Voldemort coming back, that he's made it up.
He's not back.
So they send in Dolores Umbridge, who is the most vile piece of work. She's sort of a terror in pink.
She's at Hogwarts to sort things out, but actually she goes way beyond the job description.
Dolores Umbridge is a bit like a genetic splice between Freddy Krueger and Doris Day. She's a complete lunatic. She's actually there to stop kids learning magic, because the Ministry and Umbridge are convinced if the kids learn magic, they're going to take on the Ministry, which is complete nonsense.
Your previous instruction in this subject has been disturbingly uneven. But you'll be pleased to know, from now on, you will be following a carefully structured, Ministry-approved course.
She really wants to get rid of all the teachers. She wants the children to really not have any individual thoughts or practice magic. She wants order, she wants no chaos, she wants no mess.
Yes.
There's nothing in here about using defensive spells.
Using spells? Well, I can't imagine why you would need to use spells in my classroom.
It's really sinister because she has the appearance of being all kind of like, she's got the really like soft voice and she's wearing all the pink and she's just this really like screwed up lady inside.
We're not going to use magic.
You will be learning about defensive spells in a secure, risk-free way.
Well, what use is that? If we're going to be attacked, it won't be risk-free.
Students will raise their hands when they speak in my class.
Oh, it's horrible. It's really freaky.
She gets quite addicted to the power, and I think she yearns to run Hogwarts the way it should be run.
Dolores Umbridge has replaced Albus Dumbledore as head of Hogwarts.
So, with Hogwarts under new rule, that's it for part 1. But stay tuned, because coming up after the break, find out how the pupils fight back.
She basically encourages Harry to kind of like, to just teach everyone everything he knows, because obviously with everything he's had to deal with, everything that he's learned is sort of way beyond his years.
And we hear how the gigantic sets provided a platform for the most spectacular battles yet in the Potter franchise.
For me, from my point of view, it was absolutely fantastic to be in the middle of this incredibly expensive and beautiful set as it was blown apart by explosions.